What's up, explorers? Welcome back to our channel. We're the Choose here from Choose Explore, where we teach you guys how to see the world
and save $1.
So we just had an amazing experience to Egypt, where we went through many different regions, saw some amazing people, ate amazing food, but there's so much more that you guys need to know before you go to Egypt.
Egypt is chaotic, beautiful, budget-friendly, and so much more complex than just the pyramids. If you're planning your first trip, here's everything that we wish that we knew. From what to pack to how to avoid tourist traps, Egypt is much better when you come prepared. So let's get into it.
So the first thing that we're going to talk about is entering the country of Egypt.
So as US citizens, we just needed a valid US passport, and we had a visa on arrival, which was only $25 per person with cash.
Also on the airplane, they gave us a little customs or like a declaration form that we had to fill out. It was nice and easy. It was in Arabic as well as English, so easy to navigate.
And really, it just asks you like your basic information, such as your name, where you're staying, your purpose for travel, how long you'll be there, all the typical questions.
So these are some of the processes that occur at the airport, but there's also one more thing that I do want to mention about the airport experience. As travel content creators, we usually travel with a good amount of equipment, and one thing to know about the Middle East, and especially in Egypt, is that drones are banned. So drones in the country are illegal, and I would not recommend anybody try to sneak the drone in unless you get a permit beforehand. But I have never heard of someone who got a permit in order to fly in Egypt. So for this trip, I did not bring my drone into the country, but I do have friends who tried to get their drone in and they were confiscated at the airport, and on their way back outside of the airport, they allowed you to get your drone back. So just something to know, it's not the end of the world if you do have a drone, you just will not be able to get it into the country.
But you never know if they're going to give it to you back for free.
Yeah, and that's another point that we're going to talk about later on. So now that you went to the airport, actually, we should have talked about this before you even go through the airport, and that's the best time to visit.
Yes, you need to figure out when you're going to go to Egypt, and that really ultimately depends on your weather preference.
So the only person I think would enjoy Egypt in the summer is my wife. She loves it when it is blazing hot. Like, that's what Egypt is in the summer.
We should go again. Let's go.
I am good on that.
Let's pack our bags.
But I would say that when I thought about Egypt, I thought it was always going to be hot, because you think about the Sahara Desert, you think it's the hottest place in the world. But first time I went was actually in January, which is like the winter time. And let me tell you, I was in a hoodie the whole time. You see people in long pants, people in winter coats in Cairo. And what I would say is that depending on where you are in the country, you're going to have different temperature levels. So Cairo is going to be really north, and it's going to be cooler temperatures. But the further south you go, think of Luxor, Aswan, like close to the Sudan border, it's going to be hot year round.
More my speed.
Actually, on my first trip in January, I went to Aswan, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was like 102 degrees, and it was like madness. But I would say that probably the most comfortable times of the year that you want to visit is going to be in the spring and in the fall, because it's going to be more moderate temperatures. One thing to note about Egypt is a lot of the cities and towns are going to be built around the Nile River. And when you think about the Nile River and you think about the desert, you're going to think of more of a dry heat. So it's going to be really hot in the day, but at night with the wind, it could definitely get chilly.
So the biggest takeaway is that you definitely want to come dressed in layers when you're in Egypt, just to prepare for the different regions and also the different times of day. So the next thing to know and keep in mind when you're coming to visit Egypt is that it is majority Muslim.
So when we came, it was actually during the timeline of Ramadan. And being a Muslim country, a lot of things were shut down because of Ramadan. So a lot of people told me I was going to have a bad time traveling during Ramadan, but I want to say I had an absolutely amazing experience during Ramadan. We saw a lot of people practicing their faith. We saw the community aspect. A lot of people actually offered us to come sit with them and have meals once the sun set. The mosques were so beautiful. So it was definitely very interesting to observe during the time of Ramadan.
However, we did find that different restaurants and sites of interest had different opening hours during Ramadan, so just keep that in mind if you are planning to go during that time.
You also want to keep in mind, being a Muslim country, that alcohol may not be readily available as well.
Also, while you're in Egypt, you'll notice that a lot of people are dressed more modestly, so that would mean like loose-fitting outfits, longer skirts.
You're not going to see the shoulders exposed, the kneecaps exposed, so just be mindful of this when you are planning your outfits when you're going throughout the country.
Yes, so definitely loose-fitted, light, breathable fabrics. If this has been helpful for you so far, hit subscribe. We have a lot of Egypt content for you.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about is probably the most important thing that we're going to talk about here in Egypt.
So this is all about the experience in the markets and with the local people in Egypt.
So the first thing that I want to say is basically everything in Egypt is going to be negotiable. Anywhere you go, someone is going to come up to you and someone's going to ask you for something, and somebody's going to give you directions, and somebody's going to want to sell you something. And just using the words la shukran will go so far. La shukran.
La shukran, it means no thank you. However, they may not accept that la shukran. They may not. So we've been to over 50 countries, and I have to say, hands down, Egypt has the biggest hustle culture I've ever witnessed in my life.
I found the motto for Egypt. Here he goes. That's right. Never give up, because they will never give up. They will keep following you until they make you buy something.
If you go to Egypt and you don't understand that everybody wants to sell you something, you may have a miserable time. Just speaking honestly. Especially since tourism has been down in the country, the only way that these people eat is by selling something. So you just have to be stern and persistent. La shukran, la shukran, la shukran.
And they'll be just as stern and persistent. Right back.
Now here's the thing, if you actually do want to buy something, this may work in your favor.
Yeah.
Because they will keep dropping the price. They'll start with $150, and by the end of you keep saying la shukran, they may offer it to you for $3. So if you are thinking about something that you initially weren't interested in, but at the end of the day you think about, but for $3 that's a pretty good deal, then Egypt is a good place because everything is negotiable.
You'll end up buying a lot of stuff. Bring an extra bag.
So normally you would expect this at a market or at a souk or something, but pretty much anywhere you should expect this. And also something that is completely different than anywhere else that I've been is in Egypt, anybody that comes and talks to you, gives you directions, I'm talking about the regular local people or even the police, expect them to want a tip, something.
Yes, even if you already know where you're going, headed the right way, they came up to you, approached you with some directions that you didn't ask for, they're going to want a tip.
So just be prepared for that. Don't say the choose didn't tell you. So we did spend a good amount of time talking about hustle culture. I do want to say that while the people could be annoying, I did not feel unsafe throughout my entire trip in Egypt. The people will ask you for money, ask you for different things, but I never felt like somebody was going to rob me. Like, they may annoy me so much that I'm like, here, take the money, but nobody would actually like stick me out. But like,
yeah, nobody was like violent.
Yeah.
They were just bothersome.
Yeah. So I would say that generally speaking, from our experience, we felt safe. Now that's talking about the people in Egypt, but one thing that I would say is not safe is the driving in Egypt. This was the first thing that really blew my mind in Egypt, is that the traffic lines and the traffic lanes are a suggestion. Nobody drives in the lanes. If there's 2 lanes, there's 3 cars in it and they're moving back and forth. They use the horn to let you know that they're there or that you can go, but I don't understand it, so I would not recommend driving in Egypt.
Yeah, they're going to be flickering the lights, honking the horns. They're going to be driving on the lines. It's a bunch of, there's no lanes.
On the sidewalk, it just, listen, driving in Egypt, I don't know who gives them the driver's license, but we need to have a conversation.
So definitely wear your seatbelt, but definitely don't rent a car.
And also, speaking on that, crossing the street in Egypt is like Frogger. You're gonna go one lane, one lane, one lane, one lane, and when you see something, you just have to run across because they may or may not stop for you, and you don't have time to figure it out. Just go. Also, I would say in a lot of the public settings, such as like malls or like the hotels or even some restaurants that we went to, they did security bag checks. So like I had to put my bag through, they had like a scanner,
yeah, like
the
an airport scanner. Yeah.
And they looked and made sure that you didn't have anything. Especially in like our hotel in Luxor, before they let the car in, they walked around with a little mirror device and scoped to make sure that there was nothing attached to the bottom of the car, and we felt really safe and secure that nothing crazy was coming into our place.
And even though nothing crazy happened to us, we always do travel with travel medical insurance, and that's with Safety Wing.
So we love Safety Wing because it covers so much, from lost baggage to if you got to go to the hospital, for missed flights. Safety Wing has you covered. Also, the rates are super affordable. For us, we got a policy for under $2 a day. So if you are interested, look at the link in our description for more information on Safety Wing.
So now let's get into budget and money. So first things first, Egypt is very affordable.
Yeah, That's one thing I will say. Egypt is one of the most affordable places that we visited. Even with how annoying some of the people could be, they're usually asking you for like 50 cents, $1. Some people ask you for a lot of money, but generally speaking, a lot of people will be happy with just $1. We consistently found accommodations for like $20 a night. In Cairo, we got Ubers for like 30 minutes long for like under $10. Another thing about money in Egypt is they use the Egyptian pound. So depending on where you are, they may be more cash dependent or more card dependent. So one thing that we did notice at a lot of the sites like the pyramids at Giza, Abu Simbel, Luxor Temple, like the big tourist attractions, a lot of them were card only. So be sure to have a card that has no foreign transaction fees.
And if you're interested in what credit cards are good for travel, just check it out on our website on choosetoexplore.com. I have an entire article for you.
But a lot of the markets, a lot of the people, I would recommend to have small bills. And these small bills are just to tip people. I'm talking about $1, 50 cents, just to give people, just to say, here, I don't need anything from you, but here's the 50 cents, and then just walk away. One thing that I would say about the tourist attractions is one way to get half price on all of the attractions is going to be to have your student ID. So if you are a student, you're gonna get half price on all the attractions.
Yes, definitely be sure to bring the physical copy though. They seem to prefer that.
Not preferred. They don't want to give you half off. So if you don't have it, they won't give it to you.
Bring your actual copy.
The next thing that we're going to talk about is where should you visit in Egypt? So one thing that I love about Egypt is its diverse history, culture, landscapes. It has so much to offer. During our time, we spent 7 days and we visited 3 different regions, and we'll talk about those ones first. So we flew into Cairo, and there's many different regions of Cairo. About like 15 to 20 minutes outside of Cairo, you're gonna find the pyramids of Giza, which most people know.
So think museums, markets, Islamic and Coptic quarters, and Giza. And you can check out more details on our Things to Do in Cairo blog on choosetoexplore.com.
From there, we actually went south to Luxor, and this is the largest open air museum in the world.
So in this area, think temples, tombs, and Nile cruises. And I have all the details in our Luxor blog on choosetoexplore.com.
Then we went as far south as we can in Egypt, and we went to Aswan.
Now, Aswan is hot, and you can think of Nubian culture, felucca rides, and chill vibes. And of course, again, I have a full blog article on Aswan and Things to Do that you can check out as well.
But there also are other regions that we did not visit that we definitely have to go back and visit. If you are interested in water, snorkeling, diving, water sports, all-inclusives.
Beaches.
You're gonna think about Sharm El Sheikh and Hurghada. Some of the best diving in the world right here. And if you guys want to part the Red Sea like Moses, this is where you need to go. All the way up north, bordering the Mediterranean Sea, is going to find Alexandria, and it's named after Alexander the Great. They used to have one of the old 7 wonders of the world, which is going to be the Alexandria Lighthouse, which is not there anymore, but think of a more Greco-Roman city.
Or you can also check out Siwa Oasis, which is more of an off-grid adventure area.
Yeah, it's actually a good drive, maybe like 8 to 10 hours away from Cairo. It's in the middle of the desert, but they have these salt ponds that people just float in, and it's absolutely amazing. If it wasn't so remote and we had more time in Egypt, we definitely would have visited this one.
So we'll link all of our Egypt guides and vlogs below if you want sample itineraries and full prices. So now we're going to get into something really important, and that is the food in Egypt. What are you going to eat?
So one thing that I would say is through our times, all 7 days through Egypt, we did not have one bad meal. And that's a testament to the amazing cuisine in Egypt. Also, the food in Egypt was generally really affordable. I remember we were having rooftop views with amazing views, eating, drinking, and altogether our bill was under $30 for the 2 of us. So you definitely can eat well in Egypt.
There's also a lot of vegetarian friendly options, so I was eating good as well.
If you're walking the street, you could typically get like a $1 falafel sandwich. You could get like the Egyptian shawarma and a wrap for like $1, $2. So like really affordable food.
Yeah, my favorite was definitely the kosheri, which is actually the national dish of Egypt. So that had like beans,
the noodles, the marinara sauce.
Yeah, it had a lot of really good stuff in it, and I highly recommend you try that.
Me personally, I love all the grilled meats in Egypt. The shawarmas, the stuffed green leaves. Also, I really love the tagines. It's cooked in a clay pot and it's bubbling, so flavorful.
Yeah, I had like the potato tagines. That was really good. He had the chicken, the fish tagines.
Yeah.
Also, I think I had lentil soup every single day because that was just a staple for me while I was in Egypt. So good.
So definitely eat out and eat great in Egypt.
Yes, and also try the hibiscus tea.
Ooh, yes. Me and Egyptian cuisine go real bad together. Next thing that we're going to talk about is accommodation tips. So one thing that I would say about Egypt is many things can be catfish. What I mean by that is things look amazing online. You look at the views, you look at the room, but when you get there, this photo must have been taken 10 years ago. And I don't know who slept here, but this is not what I booked. Like, we went places that were like, our room was on the 24th floor and there was no elevator. We went places where you look outside and there's all garbage and there's nothing around, and it's like there's no writing for where the hotel is and we're trying to find it. So the reviews are super important when you're booking places in Egypt.
Yes, I would say definitely stick to the more reputable hotels, like big name places like Marriott or Hilton, honestly.
And I would say even those big name hotel brands are still gonna be relatively affordable. You can stay in 4 or 5 star properties for like under $100 to $200.
But either way, definitely make sure your budget accommodates your accommodation.
So one thing that helped us save money on accommodations in Egypt, as well as get real trusted traveler reviews, is Planet.com. We used Planet.com throughout our trip, and the reviews here really mattered and helped us book affordable as well as amazing accommodations.
So definitely check out Planet. We have a QR code on the screen for you to scan and sign up for free to get all these great discounts, or check the link in the description, either or. So now let's get into transportation, and this is going to vary depending on what part of Egypt you're in.
As we said earlier, we do not recommend anybody driving a car in Egypt. Just honestly, I drive almost anywhere and I would not drive in Egypt. But one thing that I do love about Egypt is just how affordable transportation is. In Cairo, the Uber app actually works, and we were able to take a ride from the airport all the way to the pyramids of Giza for like around $10. And that's like almost an hour-long drive. In New York, if you go for 1 block, it's already $350. So being able to do that in Egypt was just mind-blowing to me. Almost more mind-blowing than seeing the pyramids. Like, that was only $10? But in other regions like Luxor and Aswan, they did not have Ubers, but they did have taxis, and the taxis also were really affordable. Like, I'm talking about $2, $3, $4, $5 taxis.
Just make sure you confirm the price before you get in and get settled in the taxi and have cash ready.
If you guys are interested in our driver that we use in Luxor, as well as the driver that we use in Aswan, we have all of those details in our Explore Egypt travel guide, linked in the description below.
On ChooseToExplore.com.
Now, taxis aren't the only means of transportation in Egypt. So many people who go south through Luxor and Aswan tend to go on the Nile River cruises, and it doubles as accommodations, entertainment, food, all in one. Also, there are trains that you can take. I remember 7 years ago, I took a 10-hour long train for like $7, $8, and now all of the trains are like close to $100 and not even good condition. So I personally would not recommend taking a train. We actually took an overnight bus, which was 10 hours long from Cairo to Luxor, and it was only under $10 per person. Now, if you don't want to spend 10 hours on a bus, there also are flights that you can take, and they're like an hour long, and depending on the time in the season, we got flights from Aswan all the way to Cairo for under $50 per person. So you have a lot of different choices when you're traveling through Egypt.
Lastly, we need to cover connectivity. So how well can you communicate with others using your phones and your laptops?
So traveling in Egypt and all around the world, we typically use eSIMs in order to stay connected. Our favorite is always going to be SimLocal. They have affordable rates. You could connect to the local towers, you can get hotspots, and you can choose your plan. So it's not just Wi-Fi and roaming. You can also get text and calls through the SIM cards.
Yes, and if you're interested, we actually have a discount code for you. It's CHESWS, and you can have a really great time with your SimLocal SIM.
And for more information on SimLocal and eSIMs, you can see that linked in the description below.
Also, if you're like me, you need to get some work done remote, just know that the Wi-Fi can be spotty outside of the hotels.
So definitely, if you do want to be connected outside of the hotel, those SIM cards are super important because they connect to the local towers, and you could boost those hotspots onto your phones, your TVs, your computers, anything you want. So there you guys have it, everything that you need to know before you go to Egypt. Did any of these things surprise you? Let us know in the comments below. So thank you so much for checking out our channel. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we truly appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Choose out.